our forebears, and to hindsight is 20/20 vision. It's useful in that it may allow us to make different decisions today, but if anything, everybody in this room should be feeling uncomfortable and should leave tonight feeling like they have the opportunity to make change. Because if we leave tonight thinking that previous people made bad decisions, then we've achieved nothing. So I think it's important to bring it into your own realm of control and to think about what it is within your own space that you can do to help recognize these prevalent, pervasive inequalities which still exist. And one of the things that I noticed when I was looking into the TRC is that it's interesting for me, recognizing as we do that the significant economic pressures and violence that was committed between 1960, but before as well. And we still recognize ownership. And I have a slightly different view of ownership to, I think, yourself and the previous panelists, in that I don't think ownership is easy to understand. I don't think ownership to me is dispossession fundamentally and then codified in law. I don't think that there is legitimate ownership, and I think it's quite confusing that we seem to have this sense that, okay, during a particular period of time, a particular group of people owned a particular part of the world, therefore that is technically the correct way of existing. So I think when we think about ownership, we need to recognize that ownership is about what exists in the present. If you look at current inequalities, that is what's necessary. Where I think myself and the other panelists may disagree is I don't think it's necessary to justify ownership as you took from me, therefore I must take from you. I think it's necessary to look at that. That sort of implies that equality is a instrumental goal. You enforce equality on somebody else because they've done something to you. I think equality is intrinsically just, and therefore you look at equality, you judge the worth of the society based on how equal it is. And if you take that lens, then you would say that South Africa is incredibly unjust. It's a society which the limited amount of inequality you can accept should be for the greater good of the large number of people. And I think inheritance is a significant problem in that. I think this light that we have, the apartheid regime has helped us to clarify how unjust some forms of ownership are, and we should ride on that. We should look at inheritance tax. We should essentially look at the estate tax in South Africa, which is currently sitting at 20%. If you own over 3.5 million rand, and you leave that to your descendants, the idea is that they should be able to inherit your unjustly achieved economically improved situation. So I think it's quite obvious that that is a challenge, and that we should definitely ignore how people have decided to claim ownership of property in the past. I think that in the future we should consider how we would like to distribute income for everybody in the most just forms possible.